Okay, all that stuff is gonna be put in here. Okay. And done. Alright, so now it's gonna go to work. Alright. So let's go to work here. Okay, now. Alright, so it's another day at some elementary school. Alright, so let's go. Okay, I don't know why LA has to turn on every time somebody has to open it. I don't know why LA has to turn on every time I open this door, but whatever. Okay, alright, so okay, so I'm Jonathan. Is your mama? Now, for me telling you, are you getting speech therapy? I think I also seem like I'm a person who also needs speech therapy. But now, for your case, are you getting speech therapy? Because you seem to not, at least not even. I can at least get words out, okay? But you're over there not even able to get another word out after you already said that. Okay, so are you getting speech therapy at all? Like Are you getting speech? Listen, teacher, I hate to say this, but I don't think whatever I'm going through in my life is your business. And also, yes, I can speak. And then secondly, no, I do not need speech therapy. No, of course I don't need speech therapy, no way. Okay, wait a second, what is going on in this room? It sounds like people are having arguments. Wait a second. I like this not to turn on every time that somebody comes, opens this door. I mean, I guess it's like a sensory thing. Dude, and of course you don't need speech therapy. I think you do, Jonathan, because you're the one who can't speak. Hello guys, I'm here. I heard arguing outside this door. You guys are right? Like, what's going on in here? This freaking teacher was not like because I have a freaking stuttering condition. He can just freaking assume that I cannot that I don't know how to speak and that I've not been speaking my entire life. Okay, and that's just not right. Okay, because this teacher's out. All of you be quiet for just 1 minute. Now, Jonathan. Firstly, I was not assuming that you do not know how to talk, okay? I was saying, if you gave me enough time to gracefully speak, I was going to say that, are you receiving speech therapy? Because I hope that it all goes well for you. But then you cut me off mid-sentence, like many people like to do in this world, okay? To just listen. And I was wishing you best luck for your speech therapy, Jonathan, okay? I was not trying to be rude to you, alright? Dang, well, I mean, yeah. Jeez, I mean, I guess sometimes people need to learn how to listen more. Yeah, exactly. Besides, this is my class after all, okay? This is my class. So now, which would then mean that you guys are supposed to be listening to me, and you guys listen to all my commands as a teacher, okay? Now listen, I am luckily not a bossy teacher, okay? Which many teachers, just because they're a teacher, they can think that they can just control how everybody's life works, okay? Now inside my classroom, okay? Inside my classroom, I would not control how your guys' lives work, okay? Because now, firstly, I don't know nothing about how your guys' lives is, and secondly, I'm not gonna want to know what happens in your life. But then, if anything, I will wish the best luck for you guys after, then on, okay? So I'm Jonathan. Yes, just learn if I listen a bit, okay? I can even I can say Jonathan, all right? All right, yes, teacher. That's something that I just have lacked to grasp the effect of. But yes, teacher, I comprehend it. Okay, thank you. Now, Steve, welcome to class. Okay, thank you. I'm teacher, alright? So now, I'm gonna take this some seat, alright? Thank you. Okay, Steve, now listen. I'm trying to get this class together, okay? Now, I know that as you walk by me, I know that you didn't roll your eyes at me, right? No, what? Wait, what do you mean, teacher? I was not rolling my eyes at you. Okay, Steve, firstly, sit yourself back down, okay? And secondly, I think I actually did just see you roll your eyes at me, okay? Because number one, I don't have nearsighted eye problems, and secondly, I swore that I just saw you move your eyes in an angle that made me think that you rolled them away from me, rudely, okay, Steve? So now I didn't think that you rolled them eyes at me, teacher. You need to stop. Hey, listen. You don't call off a teacher, okay? I'm the one who is telling this stuff, okay? You're not the one who's supposed to be teaching me. I'm the one who's supposed to be teaching you. Okay. Okay. Then now I'm trying to tell you that I'm now just trying to sit here telling you what I did not do, which you're assuming that I did do, which I did not do, and I'm just now sitting here just trying to learn. Okay. After that, I'm just done. Because of that right there, I give up. Okay? Furthermore, class. Now, this is called the logic class, okay? So now, you guys will derive some knowledge that any of you guys can come up with. And this is also kind of like sort of like a IQ test as well, guys. So now, why do you think a square is a square? There's two of you guys in here, so one of you gets the best logic makeup from divergent thinking will be awarded a 100. Whoever gets lesser of the thinking will get a 0 because they lacked to grasp the effect of knowing how to just use basic knowledge of freaking shapes. All right, so now one goes at one time, and then the other one goes at the end of after the first one once. All right, so now you guys go. Well then, I would then think that a square is a square because it has 4 lines, and then the lines revolve around each other to form an angle that is in the shape of a square. And then we call the square because it has to look so in a where's something I could say that is not the definition of the actual shape. I mean, we call it a square because the lines goes from like this, and then it's like that the lines go from sideways to underneath, then to sideways, and then the upwards line. And then the one who see it all as that image would just then think that's okay. I think it looks like something that I could just call a square. So then they just wanted to name it a square. Then I guess that's how I came up with it. There's my knowledge of that, and there's my how I divergently thought of that. I'm a teacher. Okay, Jonathan, that was actually very, very cool divergent thinking you had there. Okay, now I will award you something to be determined after Steve has his goal. All right, Jonathan. But good prediction and thinking about that, Jonathan. Really, dude. I can give you a mental applause for that. Okay, but good job, Jonathan. All right. All right. Thank you, teacher. Yeah, all right. Good job, Jonathan. Now, Steve, it's your turn. Okay, so wait, what's this about again, teacher? Okay, Steve. Now, I think just because you said that should automatically give you a 0. But because it has actually been a long time ever since we said what type of shape it was, Steve, this is basic knowledge and divergent thinking about why a square is called a square, and why, and how do you think that they came up with the lines, and then they would then view it as, and think that the best name for that type of shape would be called a square. So, Steve, what can you think about that, Steve? Okay, all right, now I understand. Okay, now my brain cells has awakened and had remembrance of what you just told me the first time. That's just kept in store for my, that's just kept contained within my brain cells the first time. But second times is okay, but third times is actually just the charm. But let me use this second chance as a probability of that. Okay, now the reason why they could have called it a square is because they got a group of 4 lines, and then they decided to put it in an angle that would then make it look like to give them the urge to call it a square. And then those lines will make it revolve around itself, and then connect. And then as they would connect those 4 lines, it would just make this appearance as a rectangular kind of like, square shape. And then they just thought that because all these lines connected in those type of ways, and then with all those lines being in those angles, and then that it was also 4 angles, something similar to a rectangle, but something that is less wide and something that is smaller than that. And then they just had a mental view and a mental perspective, and they have made a imaginative view of those lines, and especially since all those lines were in certain ways with those angles, and then they would just then think that, okay, well, I think just because all those lines are in those type of ways, and then it forms out the shape, something like this would be called a square to me, and then lines that is in those type of ways, and 4 lines, and then with those 4 lines being inside those type of angles, will be then equivalent to the presence of a square, and then it will be always known and seen as a square, nothing less, nothing more. and then not a rectangle, because if a rectangle, it will have to be wider and more lengthy and all that type of stuff. Wow. Okay, Steve. Zip up them lips, okay, Steve? You gave me more than enough, Steve. Okay, you got the big 100. Okay, you got that 100, Steve. Okay, Steve, because you have tapped into the brain cells that you have also just said at the beginning that you lacked all those brain cells. They have gotten some type of punch into nerve, and then they have just kind of like rewired to this no way of you getting this deep type of view of thinking to view all these lines and make an analytical prediction about those lines and why whoever came up with those lines inside those type of ways and those angles, their thought would have been equivalent to make them think that something like this would be called a square. And Steve, because you did that, you would then be awarded the big 100. Okay, Steve? Like, I have to write on paper about this, Steve, because this takes some intelligence, okay? This takes some IQ points to work in the right ways for this to be possible, Steve. And now, you're gonna be getting all of this, Steve. Because now, Steve, I think you have the highest intelligence quotient inside this entire school. Now, award for Steve Jackson for containing the deepest view and perspective of prediction of a square, of how squares actually, I now mean to say, came into the being they sold themselves today. Because now, Steve, that was a good job. So, to Steve Jackson, by the nameless teacher. And Steve, this will also be very cool to show to your parents as well, because they may think that you've been raising all this time a gifted child by the nameless, because I have no name at all, but I'm just a teacher, so you can just call me that. By the nameless teacher, extreme divergent thinking of difference and thinking in strategic ways to come up with these definitive values, and extreme spatial defining skills. Alright, Steve. Sorry about that. Okay. But Steve, I'm sorry. I'm just so excited that we have such a genius in this classroom. And Steve, here's your, Alright, so here's your certificate for being the most deepest viewing perspective viewing person of knowing of how things as analytical and as spatial as shapes that you have came such into deep view of thoughts that your image to us from your brain that the things that your brain was telling your mouth was of exceptional value, and all these things came from a brain of at least some sort of higher power. So now, Steve, this is your awards. So here you go, Steve. Whoa, wait, thanks. Wait, so this is to Steve by the nameless teacher, award for extreme divergent thinking and extreme spatial defining skills. Yes, thank you, teacher. I'll not be going home with this award. I mean, if I have that much knowledge, then I might as well just go home, right? Like I'm done. I can just bring this award to my parents. Goodbye. Well, I mean, I would then suppose that he actually did earn that spot to lead. I mean, wouldn't he? I mean, freak. I mean, he's going on with those higher IQ points than the average person would. So, freak, dang, that's just good. But Jonathan, yours wasn't that bad either. So I guess I would award you like a 85. Teacher? No, teacher. All that brain power I used, it's not worth me no 85. Teacher, the awakening amount of brain cells that had to activate for me to say all those types of things in those types of ways, teacher, that was at least half of how much brain power that Steve guy has contained, okay? Me having to go through all that for my brain cells to wake up and just to say things in those type of ways and those type of arrangements and all those types of, ways of achievements that I achieved lower than I expected because of some type of decline in my brain cells you couldn't accept. Teacher, the amount of brain cells that I just had to use for that to be a possibility for me to even say any of those things in any types of those type of ways, you award me a freaking 85, a freaking 85, and because he has brain power cells that has 20% or 25, 20% more activity than mine's, he gets awarded the big 100. But then I get rewarded the minus from the big 100, a small 85, a digit less than what that Steve guy got, because some type of decline in my brain cells that he could not accept. So teacher, I gotta get that. Big 100. Well then, can your brain comprehend another lesson of that? What the heck? He just freaking zoomed out of here. You know what? Okay, this is got to be my acceptance for that, okay? Because that guy zoomed out of his existence. Okay, well at least that Steve guy has it all. Okay, he's gonna go home with probably his parents buying him a freaking PS5 because of his intelligence. That was just a crazy thing to witness from that, but yeah, that's just something probably an experience that I would just never be able to understand, and it ought to be a reason of why I'm just gonna go home and bleach my eyes thoroughly out, in and out.